Welcome everyone to the Modern Day Mystic, the MDM Show. It's a wonderful day here. We are so excited because we have a very special guest, and of course, founder and producer Peter Schenk is here with us.
Good evening, Donna.
Evening. How are you?
Doing great. Great. Really excited about tonight's show. Absolutely.
Right on. We got a great guest, right? A mystic meets a shaman.
Indeed. Indeed.
Right. So that's exciting. Kind of sounds like a joke. There was a mystic, a shaman, and a pretty woman. That would be me. All right. So, folks, let's definitely get started. And again, we've got Bart Smyth here. Bart Smyth. I'm going to have to say your name like 3 times just to get it right. Bart Smyth is here with us, Modern Day Shaman. Let's get started with him. Real quickly about Bart. He is in Sweden, and he does lots of different things that he's going to talk to us about with his different approaches. And so I am not going to hold us up. Let's get it rolling. Peter, over to you.
Bart, I'm really excited to have you on the show tonight. The modern day mystic meets the modern day shaman. I mean, it's like a showdown out of the Wild West. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So let's just jump right into it. What is a modern day shaman?
Well, Peter, I coined that phrase because it's really somebody who's been, like myself, been led to the ancient ways and also to the modern quantum physics reality of how things can be combined with modern physiology, psychology, and neuropsychology, and then expand that into genetics and all the other areas that you want, but you combine that with all the ancient wisdom.
You see, that's very interesting because I've kind of followed that path myself. I had a wake-up experience 11 or 12 years ago, and when I did, I was being endowed with ancient wisdom that's been lost for a very long time, and I wanted to bring it about in a modern-day context, and what I did was I took those teachings and that information and I created a cutting-edge line of software that allows you to instill intent into water or impress the light frequencies into water, you know, and the intent obviously gets transposed into it. So me and you are very similar. How long have you been practicing shamanism?
Well, you know, that's a question where I think that we're all on a path of knowing ourselves, so I would say a lifetime, but I was led to the martial arts and then internal arts, which I see as a practice of shamanic nature, being that we're connecting with all the cosmic forces, and also we're working with animal energies and herbs and all these things. But actual practice with North American and Central and South American began in '88, and I had a wake-up call too. It was a car accident.
Oh.
And, yeah. And so my life was going in a certain direction and doing well, but at the time of my accident, they gave me a combination of medications to fight the pain and inflammation from the injury to the spine, that when I stopped, then who I was before the accident was not who I was after. And
I can relate to that. My wake-up experience wasn't a car accident. It just happened one Saturday afternoon in front of my computer, and whoop, I'm a modern-day mystic at the speed of thought. So, what is shamanism, and why is it now coming into the forefront?
Well, shamanism is the practice of the natural ways, and really it's a look within and connecting and taking charge of our life and allowing the forces of nature to work through us and with us, is my point of view. Shamanism is in every culture around the world. The word begins from the Siberian start, but every major culture has had medicine men or women and practicing the natural ways. And why is it here now? Because they work, right? You get results. And when we work with our true nature and the nature around us, and life takes on an easier, more substantial energy, force, something that you can count on. Yeah.
So, does shamanism work on our collective consciousness to help the planet?
Well, absolutely.
Can you explain that?
Well, it's the pebble in the pond theory. It's like my teacher told me when I began. Of course, I was idealistic when I saw what I had could work, and I'd grown up in a world. I grew up at the time with Vietnam. I didn't go, but I thought I was going to go. So we grew up with the first oil spills. We had war, and we had all these different troubles in my family and around our Los Angeles area where I grew up. And so I was very altruistic and idealistic and wanting to make a big change. And my teacher said, well, as soon as you make a change for yourself, the pressure goes off the field. And when I take care of myself, then the pressure lightens, and there's an enlightening of the cosmic and collective. So, I hope that's a simple one, but as we see, as soon as we become self-reliant and empowered, those around us feel it, and it's a program of attraction. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. So for the listening audience tonight, they don't really know where in the world you are, but I wanted to commend you for you're in Sweden, so you're about 6 or 8 hours ahead of us. So it's probably the middle of the night there, and I just wanted to say thank you personally for, taking either waking you up or not having allowed you to go to sleep yet and join us tonight.
Thank you.
So what parts of the world have you worked in?
It's easier to say where I haven't.
Okay.
Actually, I haven't done a lot of work in Africa, although I have worked there, and I haven't been to New Zealand or Antarctica. But basically, in Southeast Asia, too much, but all of China, Australia, all of Europe, Middle East, Mediterranean, all the United States, Central and South America.
And when you're in these different areas, what are you actually doing?
Well, like you, I'm programming water, but humans are made of water, so I do what I call biocomputer technology combined with the forces of energy that sensitivity and training has allowed me to be able to connect with my clients and help open up their blockages and things like that. But we actually work on the binary system with a method of work that is done by thought, and projecting that thought directly to the individual, and being able to accept exact change instantly for people.
So shamanic healing would then stimulate a person's own healing ability?
You could say that. My shamanic work is something that I was trained traditionally by the Shipibo Indians, and this is a download. It's not something that you can train, or they don't give you exercise. Well, there's some exercises. You have to learn your tools. There's tools that you work with, such as tobacco and other elements to get specific work done, you can work with these elements, but mainly it's a download, and this download is something that it's like that the medicine man becomes the medicine. You know, so everything I do is part of that shamanic, has that shamanic flavor to it.
So you would use tobacco to cure someone that's dying of smoking cancer, possibly?
You know, well, actually, you know, I would say
That's kind of a catch-22 there, huh? It's a win-win for the tobacco company.
well, that's a funny way of looking at it, but I have used it with cancer patients. Yeah. And tobacco, actually, part of the addiction to tobacco is tobacco does have an energy that's of benefit and attractive to the system, the energy system of the human body. It's just all the chemicals they put in it and in the papers and things like that that are the detriment, the main detriment that addict you.
So it actually stimulates something in the person when they're smoking tobacco that's not natural tobacco, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like the tobacco I work with is out of the jungle, you know, but it's like I work with people, all types of addictions, and it's like for me, when I had my head traumas and car accidents, I started drinking more coffee.
Oh.
And then I found out, and I didn't drink coffee before that, but then I found out I trained and I worked with medical doctors too. I actually was a therapist to medical doctors in Las Vegas, and one of them there was a head trauma victim, and she was telling me that, you know, many people get onto stimulants such as coffee or cocaine or methamphetamine to help move the energy that can be confused because of the stagnant energy flows in the brain. And what I found with tobacco is, being a head trauma victim, I've studied a lot of it because I've had to heal many brain traumas for myself. And what happens with tobacco is it actually helps to push the energy, almost like a stimulant of coffee, for people who have head traumas. And the energy, the interesting thing about head trauma is when you study it, almost everybody has them. So it's easy to get addicted to different stimulants. Yeah. Because it helps that push.
I was a smoker for a long time. It took me a while to get off of that. So I noticed in your bio that you also do the UN method, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, the YUEN method. Can you tell us about that and how you integrate that into your work?
Well, this is the quantum physics biocomputer technology that I refer to. Dr. Cam Ewan is my teacher, and I met him in '94, actually, after coming back from training in the caves and with the top Qigong masters in China and stuff. And I meet this guy, and what took me 8 years to heal in my spine, I saw him do in 5 minutes with somebody. And it was worse than my injury. So I became one of his first students, and I took that to Europe in '95, and that's really behind everything I do, but it's behind everything we all do anyway. It's just bringing focus and clarity, and of course the modern science and biology to it. It's a method of thought projected at the system and intention that can be used to get information, and then when blockages to the proper flows of information, memory, just basic nerve communication to the spine and things like this are found, then you can also use that thought and the body systems to reconnect or eliminate what's making the confusion or blockage in the system. So people call it healing. I don't like to call it healing. I like to refer to it, as I say, biocomputer technology and health and fitness through thought. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Do you work on pets by any chance?
I do. You got one?
No, I don't actually. Donna has a dog that likes to interrupt us every couple of shows. You'll hear it. Maybe we
Yeah,
can
you
work
missed
on
it today.
silencing that.
I can do my send my shamanic spirits over there.
How do you do group healings? Do you do them, and how do you do them?
I connect in with everybody on the call or in person. I do them online. I do them in groups, anywhere from 10. I've worked on as many as 300 people at a time. And basically, I connect in with everybody and direct my thoughts, and they direct their thoughts. With their permission, we access what's going on. Some people will speak up and specifically clear those issues. So it can be. Go ahead.
Would you mind doing a large activation for tonight's audience for us?
I'd be happy to.
Awesome.
Very much so.
Stage is yours, sir. Let us know what we have to do.
Okay, well, what I like to do, and I do in all my presentations, because of my background in the martial arts, I like to give the simple, most effective focus points, which are from Qigong and Tai Chi. And Tai Chi is Qigong, it's just applied to Kung Fu. And what this is, it's a breath and energy work, and I use what's called the White Pearl meditation. I got that from my Qigong master in China, and we focus on the tailbone, everybody, and we'll just start this. And, like if you have an issue, Donna, your dog, we get the dog to focus on his tail. No, but if you think of, if everybody in the audience that's listening right now can think of any issue that they have. It could be a physical pain, it could be emotional, something that they're worried about, past or future, and just pick one issue, and we'll just stop for a moment together now and make sure you're comfortable and sitting straight if you're sitting or laying down, and feel into that problem, what or how it's affecting your system. It could be tension in the system, or you just know this reoccurring thought. And then we have a point that's 3 inches below our belly button, our dantian in Chinese medicine. We're going to start there and just focus. You can touch it, bring your hand to your belly button and just feel that point, and breathe and notice the breath. With each breath, sense that your head top's getting higher towards the heavens, as we say, and the spine gets straighter if you're sitting or laying down. If you're laying down, you can imagine that your tailbone and feet are going towards the opposite wall of your head, and your head's extending the opposite of your feet. And now we're going to go to the tailbone. And in the tailbone, with your imagination, your eyes are closed, just focus on the tailbone and imagine that you have a white pearl here. And this white pearl is going to raise up the spine like a thermometer as you inhale. And what we're going to do is we're going to touch our tongue to the roof of the mouth, which connects 2 main energy feeds in Chinese medicine, red mai, du mai, or conception and governing meridians from acupuncture theory. We're going to inhale, and this white pearl is going to slowly raise up the spine, between the shoulders, the neck, top of the head, and then into the tongue, pressing against the roof of your mouth. And exhale and let it come back down. Back down the center line, back to the tailbone. And I'm connecting in with everybody now. We're all connecting in together. Another thing we like to do is we like to visualize our head top, a point that would be reached by drawing a line from each ear to the top of the head. This crown point, we visualize a silver thread. This is the highest vibratory visual to connect the spirit and the cosmos. And we just have that sense that the thread's coming from the heavens to our head top. If I was standing doing my Qigong, I'd say I would be suspended as I stand. My body's limp, yet structurally supported, energetically supported. So you can feel this suspension, yet no tension. And this gentle pull to the head top. And through the feet, we imagine golden roots growing out of the balls of our feet and extending into the earth. Think about that issue you had a moment ago. Same or different? And we're going to do this breath, beginning with the tailbone, the white pearl. And for a shamanic, bring in, the Buddhists bring in their ancestors. You know, we ask for assistance and guidance from our ancestors. Not that I'm Buddhist, but I train. And then we're connecting to the elements, the directions, north, south, east, and west, the Earth's core, and the cosmic intelligence, cosmic forces. Strengthening all these connections in all directions. I inhale, and this white pearl rising through the head, through the spine, dropping down to the tongue on the roof of the mouth, and then exhaling, let it coming back down to the tailbone. We're strengthening all the different connections between all these different elements. Our energetic body, our physical body, and our brain and spine, and neutralizing the effects of any stressors that have been with any of these elements of your issue that you're working with tonight, or we're working. We're going to slowly bring this to a close. Get this energy will keep running for you. Whatever's happened tonight will continue. And you can imagine that all the energy in your feet return, coming to this point at the belly, through your fingers and your shoulders, gathering from the head top and sinking into the lower belly, present. Now, we don't have anybody online right now, but if somebody does come on that was listening to this, or Donna, anybody wants to share anything that changed, same or different, that's what I ask. And this is a basic one, but I did do some work with everybody to go along with the consciousness. I worked energetically with you. So,
See, one thing I absolutely love about bringing guests on the MDM show is watching them work in observing in a way that I can and am gifted with, and how the energy flows out of you and how these connections are made. It's absolutely beautiful and phenomenal the way you work. Thank you for that, by the way.
oh, thank you.
You've helped 35,000 people over the course of your career. What is the most prevalent things that come to mind in all those people you've helped?
Well, the most prevalent thing is just how well we function. You know, with the right information, we all have the same tools. But if we were going to say the most prevalent issue that comes up, that is at the core of a lot of disturbance, is just that we live in a toxic world, you know. And so I spend a lot of time, even like tonight, working with people. I work with systems to start detoxing, because you can't drive down the freeway, you can't wear clothing that doesn't have fire retardant chemicals or breathe petrochemicals going down the freeway, and we're like these filters. And so that's the main thing, toxins. And then everybody's a little different, but also no matter where I've been, you can have a different culture, but people are basically the same. And so that's what and everybody wants to improve. And when they know that they can, and they can see that they can, then they take the initiative to move forward.
So you are a Tai Chi master. How do you integrate those learnings into your shamanic practices?
wow, you know, it's like everything's everything. Everything becomes the same. I would say the sensitivity and the training that I developed in doing Tai Chi and the self-awareness just enhances my ability to sense and feel what's happening, A, in myself, and B, in my clientele. You could be across the world on Skype, and I can feel what's happening in the middle of your brain. So
when I think of Tai Chi master, I'm thinking like old Bruce Lee movies, right? Or the Drunken Master or Iron Monkey or whatever.
that wasn't Bruce Lee, but
So that image is in my head, you know, combined with what you do is kind of.
Well, Tai Chi is actually the slow art that you see, but it's deceivingly fast. So Tai Chi is a metaphor for life for me. It's we gain a good foundation and stability and stillness and self-awareness, and then we take that into a flow of postures that you learn in static form, and then tie them together, and it looks like a dance, or it's called a form. And each step of the way, one's reaching a point of stability in unnatural position, and then the energy and integration move you through to the next. So for that, I think it permeates every aspect of your life after you do it for a while. Even like what I gave you tonight is the foundation of that. That's why I like to give it.
So then, how does the Qigong, you know, tie into the whole healing modality?
Well, Qigong is really self-awareness, breath, and the ability to focus. And when our mind is focused in different points like I gave you today, these are power points. They're energetic gates. And then we use our mind with the breath and focus. Then we're combining intention with our energy, and the natural forces improve all aspects of life. And then when we focus in the right place, which is the Dantian, there's different Dantians, but if we go to the lower Dantian, what happens? People can just do this. That wherever we focus, our energy goes. So this builds, spills, and then it returns. And when it does, the body, and it cultivates properly, the body uses this energy to clear and strengthen and enhance any weakness in the body. So, you know, the astronauts use it because it builds bone density. And
That's cool.
right.
So I understand that you do adventure training. What is that?
Well, it's where I take people from all over the world to different locations in the world. So, like the last one I did was this year, and we went to Death Valley, Zion, and the Grand Canyon in Sedona. And in these adventure trainings, it's an adventure on all levels. We work with food, we work with meditation, we work with martial arts, and also relationships, life purpose. I have a myriad of courses that I have developed to assist people to come to their true self and build a business and a life out of it. And we do this in amazing countries. We do zip lines, we do rock climbing, we do hiking, we do hot tubs, natural hot springs. Yeah.
That's
but you know, I'll be
spent
taking. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
time in Sedona, Zion Canyon. I've been
Okay.
all over those areas. There's absolutely energy there is amazing. Moab's got great energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Really, yeah. Go ahead.
all right, are you cool if we kind of combine styles here a little bit? I want to do
Absolutely.
an activation using the Aquaware 4 technology, and I was thinking that a really good one to program water with would be no self-realization. Basically, a little bit more than oneness, just going down the rabbit hole a little bit deeper for people. I think so. the way it'll work is I'll share my screen, okay? I'll have Aquaware there, and there's three components that'll run into session. The first one will be water preparation. We'll be removing the memories from the water. User preparation will be creating a thin veil within the water that goes to the subconscious mind, opens it up for acceptance, and then we program the intent into the water. And what I'd like you to do is just focus your presence as the technology is running. And for people that haven't experienced this before, I need everyone to just get a glass of water. It's real simple. I'll start the technology. Where you put your attention, the intention will go. So just give me a quick second here. I'm going to switch screens, and we're gonna have a little bit of fun. Okay, so we have the Aquaware 4 front and center. I've already set it up. We're going to be running it at 81%. It's set in standard mode, which means water preparation, user preparation, intent will run. Bart, you just let me know when you're ready, and we'll kick this off.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm curious.
I'm just going to count backwards. So you're going to go 3, 2, 1, and we're going to run the technology. Okay, where your attention goes, the intention will go. 3, 2, 1. We're now running water preparation. We are removing the energy fields, the programming, and the memories from everywhere the water has ever been. We're now running user preparation. We're creating a thin veil within the water that when you drink it or it's consumed, it goes right to the subconscious mind and opens it up for acceptance for the intent we're running, which is, we'll kick up here in a second. And again, the only thing that's required of the users listening is where your attention goes, the intention goes. No self-realization running. I see it flowing out of you, Bart. This is pretty cool. We're running this at 81%. This is going to be a very, very powerful intent. This runs for 81 seconds. You'll notice at this point, a lot of times the water will start bubbling, the water starts vibrating, sometimes it crawls out of the glass, sometimes it soaks through the glass, sometimes it changes colors. It's been known to do some very, very strange things. Okay, I'd like everyone to go ahead and drink as much of that water as they want and notice the taste and the texture of it. Is that your first taste of Aquaware water, Bart?
Actually, I drank Lao Tzu in Sarasota, Florida.
Gotcha.
And I did feel it.
Okay, we'll just let that settle into the crowd here for a minute or two. So getting back to what you do, Bart, can anyone learn this?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I do courses. I do courses online. I do courses in person. Yeah, we all have this. Yeah, we all have the same equipment. I've taught my children. Yeah.
What kind of I should not have said that. What kind of events do you have coming up?
What kind of events do I have coming up? Well, I'm doing a shamanic weekend in Germany, but then I'll be doing some online. I do free online groups And if people go to my website, they'll be able to join, sign in and join. But I'll be doing a shamanic activation group in Stockholm, and then Uppsala, and then I'm be doing similar work and a lot of clients in Istanbul, and then I'll be doing a month in Dubai, where I'll be doing a lot of work there. I do a lot of relationship and function, purpose, living from the heart stuff, combined with the biocomputer technology. So
what advice would you give listeners about their health?
yeah, advice.
Work out, eat right, don't eat McDonald's, you know.
Yeah, all that. I mean, for me, I don't give advice. That's why it's a. But I mean, if they're interested in taking care of themselves, the best thing is for me, I think, is the body's the key. So yeah, find something that is easy and something that you'll be able to bring into your life that you enjoy. Um, some people like yoga, some people like Tai Chi. Anything that's going to bring you pleasure first, That's
Absolutely. So I'm going to put you on the
that's what
spot.
I would say.
I'm going to put you on the spot one more time. Not that I have tonight, but I would like you to do one more activation tonight, if you would, for our listening audience. Whatever you want, however you want.
Well, I'll tell you what. This is 2016. We just turned the dial into this year, and there's a lot going on. And we were talking about the collective, and actually, all our thoughts are able to affect the collective, just like you just did your technology through. I don't know how many people are listening to this program, right? So we can also separate ourselves from any negative collective, right? Such as doubt and fear, and strengthen ourselves towards that which is going to empower and bring ease and pleasure into our life. And so that will be the intention of this activation while we do this simple exercise together. How's that sound?
Love it. Let's rock it.
Right on. Okay, so again, if you're sitting, go ahead and bring yourself to a point where you feel your head top growing, moving towards the ceiling or the heavens, and visualize the silver thread coming from the top. Another point of focus or thought you can have is where the brain stem goes into the skull. We can visualize that central core coming to the top of the head, and from there the silver thread drawing us ever upward, and the tailbone extending down. Through our feet, we root to the earth with a golden root out of the balls of our feet. If we were in class, I'd be showing you a point which is kidney 1, and this point is our bubbling well we speak of, where the energies of the earth and our bodies connect. Supported from heaven and earth, and from our energy system, we can feel our system expand and contract with each breath. And we can have family members, and we can have organizations. We can be trapped in an airport with 900 TVs and CNN blasting all the time.
Not that.
Right.
Oh, no.
These things all go into our system, so we're going to delete excess information and useless information from the collective digital sources. So head top up, eyes closed, tongue on the roof of the mouth. And we're going to visualize as we inhale. We're going to now visualize this time that we're inhaling through our tailbone. And as that inhalation takes place, I can feel my lungs extending down to that point of entry. And the tailbone, the little white pearl, rolls up the spine, up the mid-back, shoulders, neck, top of the head to the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Exhaling, it drops back down the central line. As we delete and eliminate, free all the different brains from excess digital and collective information from this excess of digital smog, we'll call it. Now we're going to inhale and let the little white pearl come up to the midbrain, behind the eyes in the middle, and just in front of the ears. You can watch as this little white pearl drops to the left brain, to the right brain, crossing in the center, and back to the center. We're going to inhale and expand this white pearl in the brain like a cloud of smoke, expanding, filling the whole cranium, down to the tailbone, coccyx brain, sacral, spinal, eliminating, freeing, and deleting any excess information, traumas, or even compounds in the system. We're going to start these deleting from these areas. And separating from collective doubt, and fears, phobias, and past limitations and accumulations from other New Year's, transitions, and neutral to the future. One more time, we're going to seal this off, inhaling, drawing the little white pearl up to the top of the head, to the tongue, exhaling down. Bring your mind to the just under your belly button, about 3 inches, 2 to 3 inches, 3 fingers. Imagine the energy coming through your feet, to the lower belly, through your fingers, draining out of your head and arms and down your chest and into the belly. Stabilized. There. Thank you.
Donna's smiling widely. She's normally the one that gets everything directed to her on the show.
in between us. How was that for you, Don?
Ooh, pretty powerful. Just listening to you is, first of all, very calming. Your voice is very, very calming. So, I could just hear you taking me different places, and being in that space is very nice. And, I could tune out, like my kids in the background, I could tune out, and I was just there present with you. It was wonderful. Felt really good. Felt that pearl going up my back, and, doing some things there. So that was pretty nice also. There's some people in the, there's some folks in the comments that are also, having some questions and some comments and thoughts for you guys. So I don't know if you guys want to connect with any of those folks.
Let's do some questions. Sure.
Got it. You got it. So, let's see. Becky says, thanks for the lesson, Bart. Learning is just as important to me as healing. As important as the healing can lead to. Linda wanted to know, when you guys were doing the activation, and Peter, I think more so for you, when you were doing that activation, Linda wanted to know, what was the intent about?
No self-realization. Some people like to go inside themselves and find oneness. This particular intent amplifies that and brings you down what we call the rabbit hole. Well, I coined a rabbit hole. It's a place where I go to get information. It's a place where I go inside to get information. Some people call the rabbit hole the Akashic Records, the Great Quantum Database, the Great Water Field, and there's an endless amount of names for it, but it's the place where we all go to go inside ourselves and find that information and whatever we need.
That's awesome, and it sounds like there's lots of shifting going on. 888 Pioneer says, something has definitely shifted. Thanks heaps, Bart. Georgia, thanks, needed a break from crying.
We love them.
Valerie, great experience, lots of energy. So, lots of different comments for folks in the chat.
Yeah, any questions?
We're really feeling it.
Bart, how can people get a hold of you?
Well, they go to my website, moderndayshaman.net. moderndayshaman.net. It's just one word. And yeah, just there's a little drop-down box. You can put your email in there, and then if people want private sessions, just like today, we're working distance. That happens, but yeah, ask any questions. My main office is in the States, but I do live 2 hours north of Stockholm, and yes, it is just about 3 o'clock in the morning here, but I work with all time zones.
We'll get you to bed, I promise, soon.
Oh, that's okay.
I just want to spend a quick minute and talk about the workshop we have coming up a week from Monday, which is the energy field clearing workshop. And again, this is the precursor for the master workshop series that we have, and we'll be talking about more as we get into February. But I just want to make sure that people understand that it is on sale now and will be for the next week. And for those of you that have already purchased it, please do the homework that is in the email that you receive after the purchase. That is absolutely detrimental that you take the time and do that homework. This is the first level that I'm involving you at. And although the homework might seem a little different than what you're used to on the workshops that I do, please make sure you get it done. Please, please, please. Okay.
I'm interested.
You're interested? I'll send you a link. I typically do 3 to 4 workshops a year. This year we're going to be doing many more of them. And we're going to be doing a master workshop series, which is going to take a lot of techniques that I've learned over the course of my awakening experience and really make them very pronounced in how we're delivering it and exactly what we're doing with it. And for people that have experienced workshops before, this is going to a whole new level. I'm actually involving you prior to the workshop starting to start the processes in motion, so when you actually arrive at the workshop and we start the real work, you've already done part of what you need to do, and it actually engages you more on a much deeper level. So we're really getting excited about it for sure. Donna, anything else?
Wow, a very powerful workshop tonight, or I should say show tonight. Of course, thank you, Bart. And again, folks, moderndayshaman.net. That is the website where you can connect with him. If you need information on the workshops, please go to Facebook. The link is there. You also need to go to the Modern Day Mystic website, join our newsletter so that when we are doing these master classes, we are hitting the ground running in 2016, so you need to be connected with us. And as Peter says, there's already homework involved.
Bart, thank you. Amazing. Your technique is very, very cool. And again, if you want to just shout out to everyone one more time how they can get in touch with you, we're going to wrap it up.
Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you very much, Don. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be here, really. You can reach me at moderndayshaman.net. And it's so cool to meet the Modern Day Mystic. And,
it's very cool to meet the Modern Day Shaman. Thank you. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone. We'll see you next week.